I'll call the meeting of the 2025 MD of Tabor Annual Organizational Meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. on October 28th, 2025. The first order of business on the agenda is to administer the oath of office for each counselor. So with that, we'll have Sergeant Gemmel, Detachment Commander of the Tabor RCMP, Tabor Vauxhall RCMP Detachment, initiate that process. With respect to the oath of office, each counselor will have an option of swearing or affirming.
You swear or affirm.
Let's maybe click our microphones, everybody.
You raise your right hand.
I, Ernie Peters, do solemnly affirm that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of counsel for the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God. Oh, I don't have to read that.
All right, and just sign. Raise your right. And then
Thank you. I, Tamara Mianega, do solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of counsel for the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God.
I swear.
put the Bible in the left hand, raise your right.
I, Martin Connor, do solemnly swear that I diligently, faithfully, and to my best of my ability execute according to the law the office of counsel of the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God.
Counselor.
Swear.
All right, take that in your left hand.
It's got Lane Johnson on there.
Is it Lane?
I'm David Torrey, sorry. I swear at him sometimes. I, David Torrey, do solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of counsel for the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God.
Just sign up your name. Counselor, do you swear?
Swear.
Sit down in your left hand.
I, John Tricato, solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute, according to law, the office of counsel for the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God. Thank you.
You
Swear.
Swear. Put this in there. Raise your right. I, Lane Johnson, do solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of council for the municipal district of Tabor. So help me God.
You swear.
Yeah.
I, Mary Reynolds, do solemnly swear that I will diligently and faithfully and to the best of my ability execute according to the law the office of council for the municipal district of Tabor, so help me God. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Sergeant Gemmell. Next item on the agenda will proceed to the process for election of the Reeve. And I'll commence that process by issuing first call for nomination for the position of Reeve.
I'll nominate Tamara Mienega.
Okay. Now I'll issue second call for nomination of position of the Reeve.
I'll nominate Lane Johnson.
Issuing third call for nomination for position of the Reeve. Hearing none, I'll confirm with both Councillor Mienega and Councillor Johnson whether or not they accept their nominations. Responding in either the affirmative or negative.
I will accept.
I appreciate the gesture, but I think we would be better off led by Councillor Mienega.
Okay, so that's a decline. Yeah, okay. With that, with no other nominations, through acclamation, I'll declare Councillor Mienega elected as Reeve for the 2025 organizational year, the ensuing 12 months until the next organizational meeting. So with that, I'll transition the chair to Reeve Mienega. As we transition here, I just want to make note of in each spot, there are a package of ballots. So if there are elections, we will utilize those and we'll come around and collect them and tally those, come around and collect them in a ballot box and tally them based on any particular election. So that package is in front of you. So I'll transition the chair to Reeve Mienega. Yep. Just one reminder, if I could, Reeve Mienega, if at any time we need to take a break or recess to regroup or just a regular break, we can as well. So,
Yeah, and for any member of council, if you need a break, then usually other people do too. So don't hesitate, just to make sure we're all working on the same page. All right. Thank you for this privilege. Now we'll do the administration of the oath of office to the Reeve. I will swear this. That's all. I, Tamara Mianega, do solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of the Reeve of the Municipal District of Taber, so help me God. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The next order of business is the election of the deputy reeve. So I'll take first call for nominations.
I'll nominate John Takeda.
Okay. Second call for nominations.
I'll nominate Lane Johnson.
Third call for nominations. Okay, with that, nominations cease and we'll have an election for Deputy Reeve. So I'll turn it over to Arliss.
So you have ballots before you. And once you're done filling out the ballot, fold it, put it on the ledge in front of you, and staff will come by and collect it. After election for the position of Deputy Reeve, I declare Lane Johnson Deputy Reeve for the ensuing 12 months.
Congratulations. And now I will move to the administration of oath of office to Deputy Reeve.
I swear. Raise your right hand. I, Lane Johnson, do solemnly swear that I will diligently, faithfully, and to the best of my ability execute according to law the office of Deputy Reeve for the Municipal District of Taber, so help me God.
Okay, and congratulations, Councillor Johnson. So we're moving on to 5, nomination election process policy. I'll
defer to.
I can,
City
I can just speak briefly to this.
Mhm.
The first page of this policy references the various different committees, boards, agencies that counselors are appointed to. A portion of it references certain committees where counselors in certain divisions are automatically appointed. For example, intermunicipal development plan committees, as well as certain fire authorities, essentially regional partnership, intermunicipal agreements with respect to fire services. And then starting on page 3, it references the nomination process for appointments to each committee, board, and agency. So there is only one outlier, and it's referenced here in red. This policy is reviewed annually, and it seems like without fail, there's always one little detail that gets missed annually. But that one would be the Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee. It is one of those committees, intermunicipal agreements, that has, in practice, had representation from Division 1 and Division 2 councillors. Similar to the Vauxhall Regional Fire Authority, which is another intermunicipal agreement that has automatic appointment of Division 6 and Division 7 councillors. So because it's not included necessarily in this policy, we've highlighted it in red. And that, because it is an outlier, that would require a specific resolution from council to appoint councillors from Division 1 and Division 2 to the Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee until such time that we can amend and update the policy. So I know that's a mouthful, but it looks like items 1 through 12 before you, these are all automatic appointments established via policy. With exception of the Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee that I had just explained. So this time I would welcome a resolution appointing divisions 1 and 2 councillors, and the appointments to that Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee.
Okay, thank you for the clarification. So the reason for the motion is it's not included in the policy. So we'd be looking for a motion to have councillors of Division 1 and Division 2 appointed to the Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee.
I so move.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the motion? Those in favor? That motion is carried.
So the minutes will ultimately reflect the remainder of those committees being those appointments being established by policy.
Yes.
And then the following section references the next committees and boards that require council appointments, primarily through the nomination process, with the only exception being that of members at large, and we have those referenced in RFD's request for decision in today's package. That being said, the meeting and times and date schedule is next. Sorry.
Please continue with that.
Okay. So this outlines the proposed schedule for council meetings and a few specific committee meetings. Those committee meetings consist of Committee of the Whole, as well as MPC meetings, which is Municipal Planning Commission, as well as ASB, which is the Agricultural Service Board meetings. All of these committees have council representation on them, either in part or in whole. One minor amendment, and I'm going to rely on you, Lace, to point that out. with respect to an MPC meeting schedule is which date?
So according to the MPC schedule before you, the first MPC would be November 24th. Administration is suggesting that that one be November 10th. And that the November 24th one be removed. And in doing so, the November 24th committee of the whole meeting that is scheduled, which is the attachment before that, is scheduled for 1 o'clock. But that one could happen at 9 if you were to cancel that 24th MPC meeting.
So if according to, we would just strike that and then we could make a motion, but we don't have to amend anything. It just can be as presented with that November 24th MPC being changed to November
November
20th.
10th.
10th.
November 10th.
And then
The November 24th committee of the whole.
at 9. Okay.
And that would be, if the schedule is acceptable with that, it would be accepted as amended.
Councillor Condor?
I changed my schedule for November 24th, so I'd rather leave that one at 1. I've already changed my schedule.
Okay.
If everybody's fine on that.
So that could reflect just simply the change of November 24th to November 10th for MPC meeting.
Okay. Any other comments or questions on that before we call for a motion?
I am also on the Bow River Gas Club board,
Okay,
and I'm in Edmonton that whole week. So if it doesn't matter to you guys, I won't be able to be at those meetings. Anything from, where are we here? Anything from the 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th, I won't be able to attend.
so I think in past practice, if someone wasn't able to attend, we always worked hard to make sure we had quorum,
Okay.
but we recognize people have personal or private commitments that might be their job or whichever. And then we always have an option if people wanted to join remotely, that is perfectly allowed. But if people aren't here, there will be times where life will happen. And I think best practice is if we just let CEO or some of us know if we send out a group email.
I feel kind of bad. I feel kind of bad about it, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Oh, we all, this isn't a full-time job. We all have other commitments.
Invariably, some meetings will be missed by some.
Yeah, it is. We do our best, but that is life. Okay, so with that, I would ask for a motion to accept the council and committee of the whole meeting schedule with the reflecting the November 10th MPC change.
I can give you that motion.
Any questions or comments? Those in favor? That motion is carried. The 2025-2026 boards and committees chart.
So this references in part what I did partially explain in reviewing the nomination and election process policy. The area there, I think I would call that orange, is where there's automatic appointments through the policy. And then moving on from this point, this is just a chart that we will fill in after today's meeting and distribute to council afterwards, so you're aware of your committee appointments. The remainder of the chart reflects same or similar order as the policy for other boards, agencies, and committees. And that's where we'll spend, I guess, the remainder of our time today.
Arliss, for the sake of time, with the ones that are appointed by policy, are we okay just to accept them? We don't need to go through them?
Don't need to go through them at all. The minutes will reflect that the policy
Right.
automatically establishes those appointments. So we don't, there's no resolution or action required there.
Okay, sounds good.
So you'll begin with the Weed Control Act appeal
Mhm.
board.
Now, in respect to Deputy Reeve Johnson's request to have some discussion over committees and interests, I would propose that we do these two items and then take a 10-minute recess and then have people have an opportunity to express their thoughts on what committees they would have great interest in. So these next, well, we can do, I guess we have to do Ag Service Board though first, right, Arliss? That's,
Not necessarily, with respect to council appointments, yes. The members at large have already been appointed. Their appointments are still active, so they're not expired for another 2 years. So I think you could effectively have that, take that recess now and have that discussion.
okay, let's do that. So I would move for a 10-minute recess, reconvene at 9:35. Convene council at 9:33. Are you ready for us, Lise?
Ready yet?
Okay. And so we're going to go through the boards and committees to have an explanation of what it may entail, recognizing that there can be anomalies. We'll turn that to CEO Crofts.
Thank you. So first off the bat, Foothills Little Bow Municipal Association. This is where the whole of council has been appointed and participate. These meetings, as it references in the description here, consists of 13 MDs and counties from Southern Alberta. These meetings happen twice a year, typically January-ish and September-ish, I believe. And typically in Lethbridge. Committee of the Whole, as you've seen in the schedule that was provided, I think there's, generally speaking, there's about one per month. However, there are some months where there are none. So I think there's about 9 or 10 committees of the whole that are scheduled.
What is the duration of those? Is it usually a day-long meeting, half day?
Yeah, yes. So it can depend on the, it can literally depend on the agenda.
I guess I can speak a little bit to that, Lane. Anywhere from, I'd say, 2 hours to 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Depends on what happens and how much discussion happens.
Kind of like last night's baseball game?
Yeah. Next is the Agricultural Service Board for councillors that are appointed to that. That typically meets once a month, with the first proposed meeting being that in December, not in November, but the first one for this term being in December, and that would be the first Monday of every month, typically.
I heard that maybe it's sometimes linked with the development committee, like they're close together, those two meetings?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
The Ag Service Board meeting is usually, it's only an hour, hour and a half usually.
Yeah, typically Mondays at 11 a.m.
And there's usually a convention in January, the provincial one in Edmonton, and we had a small conference this year, was at Eagle Butte or whatever. That's the only 2 other meetings or conventions or whatever lined up with that.
There's a Southern Regional Convention and then a provincial convention. Moving into the next one, Municipal Planning Commission. For the councillors that are appointed to that committee, they typically meet on the first and third Mondays of the month at 9 a.m. Now the exceptions to that are as if there's a statutory holiday, then it gets pushed to the next business day, so a Tuesday. And the schedule that was just approved reflects that. And that particular committee reviews discretionary applications for development. They do a little more than that, but in large part, that's their role. The Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board. This is for they're either members at large or councillors that are not appointed to the MPC and who have the training are eligible to sit on this board. And that is a board that meets as needed. So when they're called upon by the Regional Subdivision Appeal Board, I believe there's maybe been 2 or 3 over the last couple of years where we've had some representation on.
Just to clarify then, there is a training requirement to sit on this board. I am wondering if it's a requirement that a member of council actually be present when there is one of these meetings, or if the other members are able to represent or constitute quorum when those meetings take place.
That's something I'll have to get back to you on, Councillor Johnson, just to ensure accuracy with respect to that particular bylaw. In terms of, to answer the question about quorum. But typically, I believe their process is they endeavor to have some sort of local representation when appeals come up. So they pull from the roster that they have regionally, but they do endeavor, I believe, to have some element of local representation.
Yes, I'm sure that they prefer to have representation, but it's not a requirement, is it?
And that's what I need to check, just to provide 100% accuracy. Yeah. But yes, there is a training requirement, and they provide that training as well. If you do not have it.
One additional question on that, do one of the 3 members returning to council have that training then?
I don't think they do.
Not of us.
No.
No, but
Okay.
of the-
So whoever's sitting on that committee representing the MD council will need to go through that training then.
Yep.
And historically, they've made it available quickly after the organizational meetings.
I actually don't think it's necessarily mandated, now that I think about it, to have a counselor, but there's an RFD, I think, that reflects that a little bit later on. But unsightly premises appeal board. This consists of up to 5 members. There are some members at large that are appointed. Members of council can also be appointed to this appeal board. Again, this is as needed. These meetings are held as needed. Based on my recollection, for the 5, almost 6 years I've been here, there's been one of those meetings, one appeal in that regard. Weed Control Act Appeal Board consists of 3 citizens at large, 3 members at large, and they're there to review issued orders under the Weed Control Act. If my memory serves me correct, we have not had any appeals, at least in the last 5, 6 years. Old Man River Regional Services Commission. If you are if you're just appointed as a council representative representing the MD of Taber, I believe this is quarterly. I believe they meet quarterly. If you're on the executive, they meet more often than that. I don't know their executive schedule simply because we haven't had someone on the executive, at least in the time that I've been here that I can recall. But if you're sitting on the board as a representative of the municipality, I believe they meet quarterly. Intermunicipal Development Committee, MD of Taber and Village of Barnwell, they meet as needed, as matters arise. So I've seen that once, maybe since I've been here, once or twice. They have connected on matters specific to the intermunicipal development plan.
Arliss?
Yeah.
When I look at that one, it's contrary to the number 4 category. I think it should be 1, 2.
Divisions 1 and 2, yeah, that's inaccurate there. 5 is not relevant.
Okay.
Intermunicipal Development Committee with the MD of Taber and Town of Taber. Again, they meet either as needed or at least 2 times a year. And then the Intermunicipal Development Committee with the between the MD of Tabor and Town of Vauxhall meets as needed, and I've seen them meet again probably a couple of times over the last few years. Yeah. Local Assessment Review Board, again, there's a training requirement here. And this is, they meet on an as-needed basis. They pull from a roster. This is delivered regionally again. They pull from a roster, and I believe Reeve Mianega has the training with respect to that. And you can appoint members at large from within the municipality as well that have the training or are willing to obtain the training. Barnwell Fire Partnership Committee typically meet quarterly. Tabor Shooting Foundation, Councillor Reynolds, you've sat on that before. Can you speak to how often they meet?
Yeah, it's monthly. It's usually a 6 o'clock or 6:30 meeting at night.
Okay. Do you know what day? Can you recall what day?
I believe it's the third Thursday of the month.
Tabor Handy Bus. I know Tamara, or Reeve Mianega sat on that in the past. I'm not sure how often they meet, but are you?
So they have met once a month. When I look back on Councillor Hildebrandt's notes, but that date was a bit flexible based on the needs and the availability.
Okay.
And usually an hour and a half, 2-hour meeting.
Some of the boards and agencies, I believe, do kind of set meeting dates at their respective meetings on a floating basis as well. That being said, we'll do our best to provide that information as best as we can. Tabor and District Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Takeda, I know you've sat on that. They meet monthly.
First Monday, unless it's a holiday, and then it still goes to the next Monday. And it's usually in the evening. Usually starts at I think it's 6:30. They're usually about a 2-hour meeting, and then there's also the Cornfest committee that MD representation is asked to attend those as well, and those usually lunch hour meetings that they have. They probably start around May or June, and then they go until Cornfest, and usually there's another one after Cornfest for a debrief.
Okay. Tabor District Community Adult Learning Association. This group meets, I believe, monthly.
And they also meet monthly. They've changed the schedule. It used to be, I think it was 10 o'clock and usually done by noon. I think they've changed it now to accommodate some school representation. I think they're now starting at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Which day typically?
I think it's the third Wednesday. Yes, it's the third Wednesday.
Okay. Tabor and District Housing Foundation, they typically meet monthly. And Reeve Mianega, can you speak to the regular day?
Yeah, fourth Thursday, 1:30, usually for 2.5 hours. And then they have these subcommittees that arise if you choose to go on those.
Okay. Tabor Exhibition Association, those meetings happen how often, Councillor Turquedo?
Those are also monthly. They're always short volunteers, so there's also not a requirement, but an expectation of volunteering to help with events.
And that's what day?
That is also the third Wednesday, but it's in the evening.
Okay.
Usually starts at, I think it's either 6:30 or 7.
Okay. Town of Tabor Recreation Board. I believe that's a monthly requirement. If any of you have sat on it before, I would rely on you, but I just can't.
I sat on it a number of years ago. I think it's Wednesdays as well. Or no, maybe, no, it isn't. It's Tuesdays. I think it's on Tuesdays, Tuesday evenings.
It is in the evening, yep.
It's in the evening and it's monthly, and it usually only lasts a couple hours. And they take a break in the summertime.
Okay. Town of Tabor Arts and Heritage Committee meeting.
So I haven't sit on this for a while, but evenings, 2 hours, take natural breaks in the summer and Christmas. We can probably find that out because it would be on their website, Lace. So then by the time we get to nominations, you'd know.
Joint Economic Development Committee. They meet monthly, Councillor Turcato?
Not quite monthly. It's a little bit sporadic. It's for sure quarterly. And I see on the nomination we have 2 appointments. That's actually incorrect.
It's one. Yep.
It's only one. And there's an alternate, and they meet in the evenings. I think it's 5:30 or 6.
6 o'clock
Right.
is when they meet.
Is it an expectation that the individuals sitting on the Chamber of Commerce also represent the MD on this one as well?
It hasn't been, no.
Okay.
What day was that one? Do we know which day of the week?
That one I don't believe has a set date.
It's one where they kind of set a meeting at
They set the meeting after each meeting.
at the end of each meeting. Do you know when the date is for the next one? Yep. JEDC? Sorry, no, I'm on the Joint Economic Development Committee still. So the next joint JEDC committee meeting is November 25th in the evening. The Tabor Police Commission meeting, so this is specific to an existing intermunicipal agreement that the MD of Tabor has with respect to municipal enforcement, community standards, municipal enforcement. This is something that council appoints simply just for attendance. There's no membership or governance representation on the commission. It just appoints, council has just typically appointed a council member to attend those meetings to stay current with the happenings of the commission as it relates to that agreement. And that happens every third Wednesday. Is that third Wednesday of every month at
4:30 in the afternoon. It's
At
usually
4:30.
half an hour.
Tabor Community Action and Prevention Society. Are we, Reeve and Egg, are you aware of how often they meet?
Once a month, but not in the same, they take natural breaks. And they were at Tabor Police basement and like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's a multi-agency meeting.
Was there a specific day that they met?
I
that you
think
can
we
recall?
moved it because And so I don't want to speak to that.
A lot of them do move it based on new membership.
Yeah, and so they,
That gets appointed
yeah,
as
some of
well.
these committees, that will be some of the discussion once people are there, so but it is a daytime meeting because there's quite a few government agencies represented.
Vauxhall Regional Fire Authority, they meet quarterly and typically in the evening at 7 p.m. and they typically meet in Vauxhall. Vauxhall and District Chamber of Commerce Board. I'm not sure how often they meet, but it's either monthly or quarterly. I know that's a safe thing to say, but I'm just not sure how often they meet. Again, they also meet in Vauxhall. Vauxhall Egg Society, similarly, I believe they meet. I believe it's quarterly, but I'm willing and very open to being wrong on that because I don't know with certainty. I do believe they meet at least quarterly and then as needed. Murray, are you aware?
I'm not exactly sure, but I know there is a meeting tonight at 7 o'clock at the Adult Rodeo Grounds in their new building. I was the alternate for that last year, so they sent me the agenda and it says bring your own lawn chair.
I also expect that is one of the agencies that sets schedules based on their membership's availability. So Vauxhall and District Regional Water Services Commission, those meetings happen quarterly, and those dates are set at each commission meeting. This particular one meets in Vauxhall, typically around 3:30 p.m. on Mondays, but quarterly. Specific date to be determined after each commission meeting. Similar with respect to the Highway 3 Regional Water Services Commission meetings. Those are held quarterly, typically on Fridays at 11 a.m. Yeah, and those are they meet right in here. Yeah. Municipal Airport Committee. Bryce, can you speak how often they meet? Quarterly. Some of these are as needed as well, but primarily quarterly. Within the last few months, council has actually adopted a new bylaw reestablishing or updating this particular committee. Previously, they met maybe once a year, so it was a very less active committee, and is kind of being reinvented or reinvigorated at the moment. So. Chinook Arch Library Board, how often does that group meet? And this would depend on whether you're part of the executive or just a board member, correct?
Yeah, so the board meets 3 times a year, and then they ask people to serve on different committees, and those committee dates get set based on requirement, but availability. And they haven't, they do have a Zoom option, so that's really nice.
Municipal Library Board or the MD of Tabor Library Board,
as needed.
They meet as needed.
Yeah, I think they have a minimum 2 times a year requirement, but then as needed.
Yeah. but I don't think it's much more than that 2 times per
No,
year.
I agree with that.
And they typically meet, I believe, here at the MD of Tabor.
So are all of the libraries within the MD of Tabor part of the library board?
I believe all of them well, no, not all of them.
Yes.
So-
Sorry, our
The
list.
the Tabor Library Board
Yes.
included? Okay.
So
Yes.
Grassy Lake, Barnwell, Boxall, does Enchant have?
Yes.
And Hayes?
Enchant, Hayes.
Okay.
So there will be,
There's
yeah,
representation from each library.
that's correct.
And then the Town of Tabor Library Board typically has a member from MD of Tabor representative, and they meet how often? Read me, Nega.
Once a month with a December break, and they are a 5 o'clock meeting date, and I believe Councillor Harris sat on that, so it was either the second or third Tuesday, but again, some flexibility based on people's schedules.
Yeah.
And MD of Tabor is there as part of their bylaws.
Yes, their bylaw requires a MD of Tabor appointment.
No.
Southern Alberta Energy to Waste Association. This may be something that's phasing out fairly soon, but I believe, I'm not sure, monthly or quarterly they met. Murray, are you? I know you were an alternate.
I
but-
was the alternate. I think it was quarterly, but sometimes I got notifications, sometimes I didn't, being the alternate.
Yeah.
John was on that.
And my recollection is they've typically met, seemed to be like Friday mornings, and it seemed to be a heavy virtual remote involvement and participation in those meetings. Like I said, I do believe that that's phasing out relatively soon.
Harlan, just real quick, I took it off, taking a look at that bylaw. It's twice a year minimum, but with our project going on with our feasibility project, we're expecting quarterly in 2026, likely just to slow the project.
Okay, so Bryce is referencing the MD of Tabor Airport Committee with those comments. A minimum of 2 meetings a year, but there is an active project there, so probably more than that, but. FCSS, Family and Community Support Services, I believe they do meet monthly, probably with some regular kind of holiday-based breaks, but they do meet regularly. I'm not sure which date and time. Are you aware, Reeve Minega?
Councillor Harris's committee. I'm just texting.
Generally I believe their meetings start around 5 p.m.-ish. Now that is one where there's an executive involved as well. So there's board members, and then they also, I believe, establish an executive at their organizational meetings. So that will determine, I believe, a certain element of frequency of meetings as well.
Is that at evening or daytime?
I believe they typically start around 5 p.m.-ish.
And it is a larger region as well.
Yep.
Baron Eureka Warner takes in what, Coaldale? Does it take in all of Lethbridge County?
Lethbridge County, MD of Tabor, Warner County,
Okay.
like I think even, yeah, a very large area. I think 17 municipalities at least. 17 to 33 municipalities. I'm not totally sure. I'm not sure which day. Can you check?
Just got from Merrill. First Wednesday at 4 p.m. supper provided.
So
And-
monthly, first Wednesday at 4 p.m.
There's also an annual convention for FCSS too, a provincial convention, isn't there? Is there an expectation that whoever's on this goes to that convention?
I am aware of an annual convention, and in my time here, again, I'll answer that through practice. I haven't seen any of our representatives go. That doesn't mean they haven't, it's just, that's what I recollect.
Do they meet in Lethbridge on that one or
They, Coaldale.
Coldale?
Mayors and Reeves Committee, I believe they typically meet on the first Friday. And that's automatic appointment of the mayor or Reeve. And that is generally, they generally meet in Lethbridge, I believe, right?
Yeah, if it's the west and then the east moves around because they utilize it with a planning body that they have.
Highway 3 Twinning Development Association, I believe those meetings are scheduled monthly. Councillor Takeda?
I've sat on an associate position there, and so I wasn't on the executive. The executive is monthly, and the rest of the association members meet quarterly. And
And I believe
they
they're
usually
Fridays.
offer Zoom options, and there's usually one or two in person, and they're usually midday.
Now, if I'm already a member of that association through a business, like through our company or whatever, anyway, just because we're interested, does that mean that I shouldn't be on it, or that makes it an easier fit, or?
I would it'd be up to council to appoint their representative. I don't see an issue with that.
I mean, if we want to have more influence, then, but I don't see it as contrary.
It would just be established if you were appointed to that committee. It would just be established that you're the MD of Tabor representative. South Grow Regional Partnership, again, this is a committee that has kind of the broader membership and then an executive as well. Councillor Turcado, can you speak to the time details there for the broader membership appointment?
So there's a quarterly component. It's usually a supper meeting with a bit of a presentation. And then there's a monthly component for the executive that usually meets midday. And that toggles between Zoom and in person, mostly in person over the last year. Prior to that was mostly Zoom. So it depends upon who they have on the executive. I currently sit on that executive, and they have, there's there'll be 2 new seats on the executive for sure, because there's 2 people that didn't run.
Would it be appropriate for the individual who is serving on the Economic Development Committee to also be on this one as well?
They're definitely related. And South Grow comes to Joint Economic Development as well, as does, they're one of the associate members, I think you'd call them, as well as Chinook Futures. Chinook Community Futures is also there. And so, and I think with Joint Economic Development, it's always it's the Chamber of Commerce, the Tabor Chamber of Commerce, the Town of Vauxhall, or the Village of Barnwell, MD of Tabor, Town of Tabor is on the Joint Economic Development. And then all those same people would also be on South Grow in the general membership, including all their member municipalities, which I think is 30 or 27, I think.
The Pheasant Festival Committee, I believe that meets somewhat seasonally in preparation for the Pheasant Festival that happens every October. Councillor Takeda, I think you've sat on it at one point in history.
Myself and Councillor Reynolds both sat on it, and it's when you're leading up to it, it's usually monthly, and then it's in the evenings.
Yeah, but it is somewhat seasonally and would likely depend on the availability of the members at the time. Intermunicipal Emergency Management Committee, required to meet at least once per year. our bylaw, I think, identifies that the Reeve is the appointed member to that. Eagle Spirit Nest Community Association, Reeve Minig, are you aware of how often they meet?
Monthly, and then take those regular Christmas, summer breaks.
Breaks.
And they're a 4:30, but I don't know the time. Again, I think they're a group who waits to see who's on their board.
And then they figure out a time that works for the members on the board.
Where would they meet? In Lethbridge?
No, they are a local group, so
Oh.
they've gone from Parkside Manor to Tabor Library or the school, so it's just available free space.
The Southern Alberta Canadier Association, I believe they meet, I think that's quarterly.
So I looked it up on Councillor Clausen's minutes, the third Thursday. They leave out winter and summer months, and it's all by Zoom, 10 till 12.
Okay.
But it is a Zoom meeting, it isn't an in-person.
And I do believe they have an annual, like one day conference maybe. Not necessarily an expectation, I guess that it just depends on availability, but that they do have an annual one-day conference.
And that all of council gets generally invited, and so it's whoever's available. The
Veterans Memorial Highway Association, that is actually a group that has kind of somewhat recently restarted. So I think they're kind of in the beginnings of their resurrection perhaps, and I'm not sure how often they meet, but I would say quarterly they would meet. It's a large group, so yeah, and they would use
and they have a Zoom option.
yeah, they would use the virtual conference option.
Yeah.
So
The one that we missed is Tabor Irrigation Museum,
right, yeah.
and their monthly. And Councillor Clausen is on that. Tabor Library Board, I just checked, it's every second Thursday at 5:30.
Sorry about that.
And past practice, that doesn't mean we have to do it, but past practice was Joint Economic Development and South Grove were tandem. And then same with MD Library Board, Tabor Library Board, and Chinook Arch. Just some value in, yeah.
I did also miss the Southern Regional Stormwater Drainage Committee.
Yeah.
They meet 2 to 3 times a year, I would say. And the MD of Tabor tip, and there's no set day, just kind of as needed. Typically during the day, and they've typically been held on Friday mornings.
So, Council, do you have any questions regarding any of those committees or have any comments that you'd like to make? Then I propose that we would, oh, sorry, yes.
Oh, just,
Councillor Chen.
we'll talk more privately about what we're interested in, or that would be no?
Well, I have no issue with talking about it now, but if you wanted a break and then, but why don't we, if people have comments, let's go ahead and talk about it. Yeah, let's go ahead.
Well, there's definitely some that I'm interested in. I do have some family members that are Indigenous, and so I would be good for me to learn more about so that would be an interesting one, and it's probably not a huge demand, you know, and so the Eagle Spirit would be something that I could be a part of. I'm already involved in the Highway 3, so if no one else is interested, I could probably take that one. And I'm an active farmer, so I guess I could be on the ag board if they wanted somebody that's farming on there. And then that one seems to tie closely in timing, because I'm fairly involved still in work with the subdivision and development authority, since those meetings kind of go back to back, from what I understand. I wouldn't mind, keeping up with what's going on in the, so those are ones that I'm interested in personally.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Things that I would be interested in is those functions that relate to economic development. I would like to try and avoid daytime meetings that are of real short duration. If I'm going to be available during the day, I would like to make it a full day or be involved in things that require a longer period of time during the day. I would just as soon not be involved in the Municipal Planning Commission.
Thank you.
Yeah, I guess I've been on the SDA and Ag Service Board. Tabor Police Commission. What else? Tabor Shooting Foundation. Guess I was an alternate for the Vauxhall Ag Society. We just in the Veterans Memorial Highway Committee, I guess. About it. Next.
Okay. Do you want, we'll just, you're ready? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll say I wouldn't mind the airport, because I'm interested in that.
Mhm.
And also the Canadian Association, because a lot of them, I'm friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
And wherever else, doesn't matter too much. I'm not really involved in ag a whole lot, but I could do the Vauxhall Ag Service Board. Well, I shouldn't say that. I help a lot of my friends farm.
Well, Elaine and I are looking after two of the same ones here. I'd like to stay on South Grow. I'm currently on the executive there, and that one does meet during the day, but there's sometimes a Zoom component. I'd also like to stay on Municipal Planning Commission. I find that to be, I really enjoy that. Exhibition Association, if someone else is interested, I'm okay with that, but I'd also take that one if no one else is interested. Same with the Chamber of Commerce, if somebody else is interested in that. I've been on that for a couple of years, and if someone else would like to take that on, that's fine with me. As far as the adult learning, that one is, it takes a long time to get your head around. And I'd be willing to stay on that, but if someone new would like to take it on as well, I wouldn't be opposed to that. So I think it's important for people to understand it.
Well, if you don't get in, I'll take it. How does that sound?
And that's usually a daytime one, if that works for you as well.
Yeah, no, I haven't got a problem with that.
I would like to be able to stay on Municipal Planning Commission. I currently serve on housing, and I'm open if someone else has an interest, not because I don't want to give out that committee, but there's lots going on, and I think the more people, similar to I think what Councillor Takeda was saying, the more people who have an understanding of those projects, that's a good for us. And then depending on other people's interests for library or FCSS, I can make things flexible once I know the time. I find it, I too am a bit like what I'm sensing around the room when we don't know the dates and times and what committees you're on, how do you make a plan? So, Councillor Condor?
I'm good where we're at. We got lots of stuff to work around.
Okay,
Mostly the lawful ones.
Vauxhall,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, any other thoughts, comments? Yeah, so FCSS, libraries, I think we're pretty close, that we have interest, handy bus. Okay, council, so then let's take 10 minutes of a natural break, come back at 10:30, and then we'll resume our meeting. So. All right, we'll reconvene the meeting. So we are now going to start to go through the boards. A suggestion was made, and I quickly reviewed the policy, and I don't see any contravention, that if you were nominated and that is not something you're available for or don't feel you can benefit on that committee, you could decline right out of the gate so that we're not going through and doing a vote and then finding out. So council, would you be okay? So it would look like if I nominated Councillor Reynolds for library, and if he said, no, thank you, then we would just continue on. Are you, council, how do you feel about that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. So we'll be beginning at Ag Service Board. There are 4 seats. So I would call for nominations for Ag Service Board. Chair one.
I'll nominate.
Sorry.
I'll nominate
Did you-
David Torrey.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just to clarify, so we can each only nominate one individual, or can
You.
a member of council nominate 4 people?
So historically, we have always done by chair. And so we'll do the first chair, the second chair, the third chair, and fourth chair. But there is no limit or restrictions for if you wanted to be the one who nominated all 4 chairs. Seats. Yeah, seats, sorry.
So in this instance, with Councillor Reynolds having nominated Councillor Torrey,
Yes.
that's for the first chair, and then we would accept
Yes.
nominations for,
So what we'll do is the nomination's been made for Councillor Torrey, and then I'll ask, is there a second call for the first seat, third call for the first seat? And if there's a second or third name, or if there's names brought forward, then we could run an election. But if not, then it would be by acclamation.
So is there a reason why I'd want to pay the 4th seat?
No,
Is there-
no,
What's the
no.
difference?
They're all equal,
Yes.
just the same as council. There's
Yeah,
no,
no difference.
no difference.
to speed it up, would it be possible for a second member of council after the first chair has been nominated to say, I move nomination cease?
Yeah, we could do that just to avoid that, but I know that for the minutes, they like to reflect the nomination of the seat. So right now on the floor, we have nomination of Councillor Torrey for first seat of Ag Service Board. Second call for nominations, third call for nominations. Councillor Torrey, you are the first seat. And I'll keep going quick then. So second seat for Ag Service Board nomination.
I'll nominate Murray Reynolds, Councillor Reynolds.
Okay, second call for second seat, third call for third seat. For second seat, Councillor Reynolds is appointed to Ag Service Board. Third seat, call for nominations.
I'll nominate Councillor Condor.
Once a month. Okay. Mhm. Oh,
I'll nominate Councillor Peters.
okay. Second call, third call, Councillor Peters holds the third chair in Ag Service Board. Go ahead.
I'll nominate Councillor Turcato.
Second call, third call, Councillor Turcato is a member of the Ag Service Board. Okay, and then at this time, I'll call for nomination of the Chair of Ag Service Board.
I'll nominate Murray Reynolds, Councillor Reynolds.
Thank you. Second call, third call. Councillor Reynolds, thank you for taking the Chair of Ag Service Board. And now election of the Vice Chair of the Ag Service Board.
I'll nominate Councillor Torrey.
Are you good? Second call, third call. Councillor Torrey is the Vice Chair. Thank you. Okay. MD of Tabor. Weed Control Act Appeal Board. So in your paper copy, you're on page 23. And Arliss, I'll just have you speak to how these names came about, just so that those who are new to our table understand.
Sure. So annually, with respect to the members at large appointments, the MD of Tabor advertises for these opportunities, essentially volunteer opportunities. They receive either applications or we confirm whether or not previous members at large would like to let their names stand again the following year. Council reviews those applications in previous meetings and then forwards and recommends the names accordingly for council to consider at the annual organizational meeting. So the members at large, as outlined in the RFD, that have agreed and are willing to let their names stand are outlined in the proposed recommendation. Mr. Doug Domalewski, Mr. Bill Parkinson, and Mr. Chris Siemens. And then the recommendation also is that the chair, whoever is elected chair of the Ag Services Board, also be considered to be appointed to that Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
So I have one question. Is this Chris Siemens from Hayes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll nominate Councillor Reynolds as chair of the appeal board.
So
Sorry,
yeah, these
as
particular
a
ones,
member of the Weed Control Act appeal board.
these particular ones, given their members at large, we typically appoint them through resolution or motion. Pardon me? Individually, yeah. And those and the suggested or proposed wording, you can change if you like, is included in the recommendation on the request for decision as well.
So Councillor Johnson has a motion on the floor, though, to appoint. Is it by legislation, the Weed Control Act, or do we need Councillor Reynolds appointed?
The legislation recommends.
Okay,
It's my
so-
understanding the legislation recommends
So
the
on,
chair.
perfect. Then on the floor, we have a motion to recommend Councillor Reynolds to the Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
Along with the members at large that are listed here.
So he would like to do those individually, if you're okay with that. I know we're trying to expedite, but there's reasons that, if that's okay with you. Okay, so those in favor of Councillor Reynolds on the Weed Control Act? That's carried. Okay, and now we require a motion for each of these members at large.
I'll move that council appoint Doug Domalewski to the Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
Any questions? Call for the motion, the votes. That's carried. And the second one,
I'll make the motion that council appoint Bill Parkinson to the Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? The final one,
I move that council appoint Chris Siemens to the Weed Control Act Appeal Board.
thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? Thank you. We're, MD of Tabor Council is grateful to Doug Domalewski, Bill Parkinson, and Chris Siemens for putting their name forward, and thank you for being on the Weed Control Act Appeal Board. Okay, same practice. Now we are an unsightly premises appeal board appointments. Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so just to reference under the summary of key points on this request for decision, the third bullet point, it says up to 5 members can be appointed to the Unsightly Premises Appeal Board. Members do not have to be members at large, and they can be members of council. So we're recommending that we at least have 3 members available to sit on an unsightly premises appeal.
Councillor Chikado.
Is there a conflict if they're sitting on municipal planning commission or not?
No, this would be specific to the unsightly premises and nuisance bylaw, not necessarily the land use bylaw.
Point of clarification, just needing to confirm, are we talking about appointing 3 members of council or the 2 members at large plus 1 member of council?
2 + 1.
Okay.
Arliss indicated that we could do 2 more if we felt inclined, but for sure to have the 2 and then 1 more. So with that, if there's no more questions, is there a motion on?
I can move to appoint Doug Domleski to the Unsightly Premises Appeal Board.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? That's carried. Next.
I can give you the motion that council appoint Bill Parkinson to the Unsightly Premises Appeal Board.
Thank you. Questions? Those in favor? It's carried. A member of council. Okay,
I'll move that we appoint Councillor Condor to the Unsightly Premises Appeal Board.
thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you to those Doug and Bill for putting their name forward and to Councillor Condor. Okay, moving on to planning and development, the municipal, I might have jumped to, yeah, planning and development. Arliss, I'll let you just speak to that.
Yeah, this is specific. The next one on the chart actually is the Subdivision and Development Authority
Okay.
Municipal Planning Commission. So there's 5 seats that require appointments, followed by election of chair and vice chair of the MPC, and then go from there. So again, back to the nomination process.
So nominations are open for the 5 seats of the Municipal Planning Commission. And first call for nomination,
I nominate David Torrey.
second call, third call. Councillor Tory has the first seat for Municipal Planning Commission.
I'll nominate Tamara Minaga.
Okay, second call, third call. I'll accept the second seat of the Municipal Planning Commission.
I'd like to nominate Mary Reynolds.
Third call. Marie Reynolds has the third seat for Municipal Planning Commission.
I'll nominate Councillor Peters.
Second call. Third call. Councillor Peters has the position for MPC, the 4th seat.
I'll nominate Lane Johnson.
I'll decline.
I'll nominate Councillor Turcato.
Thank you. Second call. Third call. Councillor Turcato has the 5th seat for Municipal Planning Commission. Okay, at this time, an election of Chair of the Subdivision and Development Authority.
I'll nominate Councillor Turcato.
Second call. Third call. Councillor Turcato is the Chair for the Municipal Planning Commission. And now election of Vice Chair of Municipal Planning Commission.
Nominate Mary Reynolds.
You're good. Okay, second call, third call. Councillor Reynolds is the Vice Chair. Thank you. Now Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
So similar to the other scenarios where members at large have applied. This is one of those boards where members of large can apply. There is a condition to either having the necessary training or obtaining training once appointed. There was 3 applicants that were brought forward to council, and that council had forwarded on to the organizational meeting for consideration of appointment. Those are in here for consideration. The first 2 candidates, Doug Domilewski and Bill Parkinson, continue to have active and the required training. Don Johnson has yet to receive that training, and if appointed, would be contingent upon receiving that. Will be contingent upon receiving that training. So it does reference that we can appoint up to 3 board members. Those can be members at large, or you can have a councillor member as well, but they do regardless need the necessary training to sit on that board.
Okay, so on the third one that doesn't have the training, it's just will be implied that contingent on the training, or do you need that in the motion?
It wouldn't be bad to include that in the motion. It would be good to include that in the motion.
Okay, so we have the first 2 who have training, so we'd be looking for a motion to appoint to the Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
I'll move that council appoint Doug Domilewski to the Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
Questions? Those in favor? That's carried. The second one, Council.
I'll move that Bill Parkinson be appointed to the Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board.
Questions? Those in favor? It's carried. And the third one with an addition, Councillor Takeda.
I'll give you the motion that we approve Don Johnson to sit on as a member of the Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Appeal Board, and that he receive the training necessary, or something like that. Contingent upon him receiving the training.
Okay, questions? Those in favor? Thank you to Doug Domilewski, Bill Parkinson, and Don Johnson for availing their service to the MD for the Chinook Intermunicipal Subdivision and Development Appeal Board. Okay. And Local Assessment Review Board.
Okay, so this is another board that can and does accept members at large, as well as there can be one appointee that is an elected official. As far as applications received for members at large with the training or without the training, we receive none, which is why it's not here. Amongst council, the individual that currently has the training is Reeve Minega. So that would require, at the very least, appointment of we can only appoint up to 1 elected official.
Yeah. Do you have a question first, Lynn? Okay, go ahead, Councillor Takeda. Doesn't matter.
I move that we appoint Reeve Mianaga to the Local Assessment Review Board.
Thank you. Questions? Those in favor? That's carried. Okay. Other boards and committees will start in order of what's on our paper copy. The Tabor Shooting Foundation.
I'll nominate Councillor Reynolds.
And do you accept Councillor Reynolds? On these ones, do we need to do a call? Or do you want them just by nomination? You want to call for all of them?
No, you can, I think there was a suggestion previously that you could
If
just
someone says no,
moved or
yeah,
move to cease
nominations, please.
nominations.
Okay, I think that's the practice we'll follow.
We did also miss the Old Man River
Oh, man,
Regional
sorry.
Services Commission. That's okay.
let's do the shooting foundation, then we'll go back. Sorry, Lace, I'm messing you up, but so people know that I'm always can be corrected. Okay, so Tabor Shooting Foundation,
Give you a motion that nomination cease.
okay. So Councillor Reynolds will hold the position for Tabor Shooting Foundation. And then we'll go to the Old Man River Regional Services Commission, ORSC. Oh, it's because I don't have a paper. Go ahead.
Nominate Councillor Tory.
Okay. Good. With a wince, he said yes. Okay, any call for nominations to cease?
Make the motion that nomination cease.
Okay, Councillor Tory will hold the position on the Old Man Regional Services Planning Commission. Okay, going back to the correct order, Tabor Handy Bus.
Nominate Councillor Peters.
Okay. A nomination cease.
Give you a motion that nomination cease.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Peters. Okay, Tabor and District Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Okay.
I'll nominate Councillor Johnson.
Want to do that? Okay. Okay, and Councillor, anyone, nomination
I'll
cease?
move nomination cease.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Johnson, for Tabor Chamber of Commerce. Tabor and District Community Adult Learning.
Nominate Councillor Peters.
Okay, you're good.
I move that nomination cease.
Thank you, Councillor Peters, for Tabor and District Community Adult Learning. Okay, Tabor and District Housing Foundation.
I'll nominate Councillor Tory.
We just had a conversation, so, okay. No, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah, good. Okay, good. Councillor and nominations.
I'll move nomination cease.
Thank you. Councillor Tory is the rep on Tabor and District Housing. Okay, Tabor Exhibition Association.
I'll nominate Councillor Takeda.
I'll move nomination cease.
Thank you. Councillor Takeda, Tabor Exhibition Association. Town of Tabor Rec Board. I can do.
Is this something that Reeve Me and Aga wants to do?
I can if no one else is. It's not that I don't want to. I just want to make sure people have an interest.
I'll move
Okay.
Councillor Reeve Me and Aga be appointed,
Okay,
and I'll move nomination cease.
thank you. So Tamara for Tabor Rec Board, Town of Tabor Rec Board alternate appointment.
I'll nominate Councillor Takeda.
And nomination cease.
I'll move nomination cease.
Thank
I just
you.
got one question while we're doing this. If
Sure.
you make a motion, I don't think you can nominate yourself to cease your motion. I don't think.
Yeah,
If
If you make a motion to it, you can't nominate yourself to cease it too. I think somebody else has to.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Yeah.
yeah. We're all just hustling here,
Yeah.
and so we should make, we really do try,
with you.
so I
wanna get done
appreciate
too, so-
that. Okay, so on that nomination cease, then that was Councillor Reynolds, I'm pretty sure. Okay, thank you. Town of Tabor Arts and Heritage Committee. Any interest?
I'll nominate Reeve Mianaga.
Okay,
I'll make a motion, nomination cease. Quick.
yeah. Okay, the Tabor Arts and Heritage alternate. Okay,
I'll nominate Councillor Tory.
Thank you. Just someone catch this nomination cease then. Thank you. And now on to Tabor, Town of Tabor Municipal Police Commission gallery attendance.
Nominate Councillor Reynolds.
Thank you. Second call, third call, Councillor Reynolds. Thank you for taking that position. Hey, Vauxhall and District Chamber of Commerce, seat 1. Oh, alternate. Do we send an alternate? We do it have on our motion. Okay. So an alternate to go to Town of Tabor Municipal Police Commission.
I'll nominate Councillor Condor as the alternate.
Move nomination cease.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Condor. Vauxhall and District Chamber of Commerce, seat 1.
I'll nominate Councillor Condor for seat 1.
Thank you.
Move nomination cease.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Condor. Vauxhall and District Chamber of Commerce, seat 2.
I'll nominate Councillor Peters.
I move nomination cease.
Thank you. Thank you to Councillor Condor and Councillor Peters for that. So Municipal Airport Commission, I'll turn it over to Arliss to speak to the RFD.
Yep. Just one small, I guess, typo. It should reference Municipal District of Tabor Airport Committee, not necessarily Commission.
Oh, yes.
Again, this is somewhat different because there's members at large that council has selected and reviewed their applicants and recommended to this meeting for appointment. So typically there's one counselor that's appointed to this committee and then 4 members at large. And the names that you have before you are recommended by council for consideration of appointment at this meeting.
Okay, we have had an expression of interest on the airport committee by councillor, but we'll go through each one of these individually. So go ahead on the first one.
I'll give you the motion that we do is appoint a member, member at large to the airport. Which one? There we go.
Page 37, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, I should have.
That council appoint Baron Van Geest to the Municipal District of Tabor Airport Commission.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? It's carried. And the next one,
Move the council appoint Richard Tams to the Municipal District of Tabor Airport Commission.
questions? Those in favor? It's carried.
Just a question.
Yes, go
So
ahead,
it's
councillor.
supposed to say committee and not commission, is that right?
Yeah, committee.
yeah.
So we'll make sure all of these say
It's all right.
airport committee. Well, this is just fairly new to us. This isn't, it's been a revised policy. Okay, so the third one,
I'll move that we appoint Barry Clements to the Municipal District of Tabor Airport Committee.
thank you. Questions? Those in favor? That's carried. 4th spot,
I can move that that council appoint Taylor Evans to the Municipal District of Tabor Airport Committee.
questions? Those in favor? It's carried. And then,
I'll move that council appoint Councillor Peters to the Municipal District of Tabor Airport Committee.
okay, the questions? Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you to those committee members, Bernard Van Geest, Rick Tams, Barry Clements, and Taylor Evanson, and Councillor Peters for serving on the airport committee. So we're going to go to libraries, and I'll turn it to CAO Crofts for the library appointment RFD.
Sorry, just one moment here.
Yep, nope, take your time.
So we've been in touch with Alberta Municipal Affairs, who are responsible for administration of libraries through the Library Act. A couple of years ago, maybe three now, they had asked us to appoint annually the membership to the respective library boards. So that's what this RFD contemplates and considers. There are some members at large that have applied and or let their name stand moving forward. There still remains 2 vacancies that we'll continue to advertise for with respect to the members at large requirement. But there's a requirement for an appointment to the Chinook Arch Library Board, Town of Tabor Library Board, as well as the MD of Tabor Library Board from a council perspective. So there will be a need for a council appointment to the Chinook Arch Library Board, a council appointment for the MD of Tabor Library Board, as well as an MD of Tabor represented on the Town of Tabor Library Board.
I'll move that we appoint Counselor, or I guess Reeve Mianaga, to the Chinook Arch Library Board for a 1-year term.
I move nominations cease.
This is just
I
by
know,
resolution.
it's so confusing.
Sorry.
So just a motion, right? Okay, so we'll call the question. Those in favor? Thank you. So, yeah,
I move that council appoint Counselor or Reeve Mianaga to the Municipal District of Tabor Library Board for a 1-year term to expire on the date of October. What? On the 2026 organizational meeting.
okay. Any questions? Those in favor? That's carried. And now these are the appointments of people who were willing to have their name stand, and we need to do each of these by individual motion. We're on page 40 of the paper copy.
I can move that council appoint Nancy Nelson to the Municipal District of Tabor Library Board for 1-year term to expire on the date of October 2026 of the MD of Tabor organizational meeting.
Questions? Those in favor? That's carried. Next one.
I move that council appoint Diane Wickenheiser to the Municipal District of Tabor Library Board for a 1-year term to expire on the date of the October 2026 MD of Tabor organizational meeting.
Thank you. Questions? Those in favor? That's carried.
I move that council appoint Jane Porter to the MD of Tabor Library Board until October 2026 organizational meeting.
Thank you. Questions? Those in favor? It's carried.
I move that council appoint Sharon Hagan to the Municipal District of Tabor Library Board for 1-year term to expire on the date of October 26th of the organizational meeting.
Thank you. Questions? Those in favor? It's carried.
Just to clarify then, so there is one additional appointment for member at large, but we don't have a name to fill that.
There's 2.
Two, but
Okay.
we're advertising.
Do they have to be from a particular library board service area?
Typically, yeah.
And which are the service areas that they need to come from, these 2 positions?
So of the ones we have just through process of elimination, it would be Vauxhall is yet to be filled, and Tabor.
So the Vauxhall area counselors have their work cut out for them to recruit.
Oh,
The,
oh, smarty.
the existing membership is very good at helping recruit as well.
Yes. Okay, last position.
So the council appoint Reeve Mianaga to the Town of Tabor Library Board for a 1-year term to expire on the date of the October 2026 MD of Tabor organizational meeting.
Okay, thank you. Questions? Those in favor? Okay, thank you to those individuals who are willing to serve. And since this is recorded, I'll put in a plug. If you are in the Town of Tabor or Town of Vauxhall and would be interested in serving on the MD of Tabor Library Board, please consider putting your name forward, and there's an online application, or call the office. And now Highway 3 Twinning Development Association. So this is a call for nominations.
I nominate David Torrey.
All right. Second call.
I move nomination cease.
Okay. Counselor Tory, thank you for that. And Sewa, and this Sewa will do a position and an alternate.
I would recommend that we don't appoint anyone to the SAWA board.
Is that a motion?
Yeah, but I don't know if I can make a motion here.
I don't know, because you,
Just do it. Yeah. If that's your,
Okay,
if that's your.
I make a motion that we don't appoint anyone to SAWA.
so for those who are new, the commentary behind that is we have at different times not had membership on that committee. And there is some discussion on the manner that it's moving, but it will mean we don't receive any information.
It is winding down, like,
Yeah,
so if you do appoint somebody, it will wind down, so I
okay.
don't.
So the motion on the floor is that the MD of Tabor choose not to appoint anyone to the SAWA committee. Any further questions? Those in favor? That motion is carried. I'll skip those then. FCSS, Family and Community Support Services.
I move that we nominate, or I nominate Counselor Torrey for FCSS.
Okay. Nominations.
We motion the nomination cease.
Okay, Counselor Tory, thank you for FCSS. And now on to South Grow Regional Partnership and an alternate.
I nominate Counselor Turcato to South Grow. And do I need to, so we'll vote on the first one and then an alternate later?
Yeah,
I move nomination cease.
okay, thank you. Counselor Turcato represents South Grow. Now South Grow Regional Partnership alternate appointment.
Nominate Councillor Johnson.
Move nomination cease.
Thank you. So Counselor Johnson is the alternate. Joint Economic Development Committee. And this is the one that actually only has one seat, if I, oh,
So-
you're double checking?
So the terms of reference do reference
2 seats?
2 seats.
Okay,
I know they're kind of under construction at the moment, but Bryce, can you add any clarification to that? I wouldn't add anything further, just exactly. Yeah.
okay, then I think for that, we should keep with both seats for this appointment year.
Just a point of clarification again, the Joint Economic Development Committee takes in which communities? So Tabor, Barnwell, Vauxhall, so
And
each
the-
of the urban communities.
And the MD, yep.
Okay.
I move that we nominate Lane Johnson to the Joint Economic Development Committee.
Okay,
Move nomination cease.
thank you.
I'll nominate Counselor Takeda to the Joint Economic Development Committee.
Second call, third call. Thank you, Counselor Chiqueto. Okay, Pheasant Festival.
I nominate Counselor Condor to the Pheasant Festival Committee.
The nomination cease.
Thank you. Eagle Spirit Nest Community Association.
Nominate Councillor Tory.
Thank you. Second call, third call.
Move nomination cease.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Torrey for Eagle Spirit Nest. Southern Regional Stormwater Drainage Committee, we have 3 seats.
Nominate Reeve Mianega.
Thank you,
Move nomination cease.
thank you. Tamara for the first seat. Second seat,
I'll nominate Counselor Turcato.
thank you,
Move nomination cease.
thank you.
I'll nominate Counselor Torrey.
Okay,
I move nomination cease.
thank you. So Counselor Turcato, Counselor Torrey, and Tamara will be the representative on the Southern Regional Drainage Committee, and then election of a co-chair. Historically, the co-chairs come from one of our 3, and then the other is from the SMRID.
Can I
Go
speak-
ahead.
can I
Yes,
speak to that? So
absolutely.
this is very
Please.
steeped in, this particular committee is steeped in practice, not policy,
Yeah.
practice. That being said, typically, the co-chair has come from a representative of the 2 co-chairs. One has been a representative of the SMRD appointed by them. The other has come from the MD of Tabor, and typically in practice has been the Reeve. There was a short departure from that. I think it would be a good idea, again, just recommendation from me. I think it'd be a good idea to return back to our typical practice of having the Reeve as co-chair. There's a fair amount of advocacy involved in this particular committee. So just a recommendation from myself. But that would require a
Nomination.
purposeful nomination.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll nominate Reeve Mianega for the position of chair.
Okay,
Co-chair, yeah.
second call, third call. Nominations cease. Thank you. Tabor Community Action and Prevention Society.
I'll nominate Reeve Mianega.
I'll move nomination cease.
Okay, thank you. So next is Tabor Irrigation Impact Museum Board.
For this one, we need a really big irrigator.
I'll nominate Counselor Johnson.
I'm a small irrigator.
I move nomination cease.
That tool just became very powerful. Okay, so Counselor Johnson for Tabor Irrigation. Okay. Vauxhall Ag Committee.
I'll nominate Counselor Condor.
Second call, third call, nomination cease. Counselor Condor, thank you. And Vauxhall Ag Committee alternate appointment.
I'll nominate Counselor Peters.
Okay, thank you. Second call, third call,
I'll move
nominations.
nomination cease.
Thank you. Veterans Memorial Highway Committee.
Nominate Counselor Peters.
Okay.
Move nomination cease.
Thank you, Councillor Peters. Southern Alberta Canadier Association. Councillor Peters said he wanted it.
I'll nominate Counselor Peters to the Canadier Association.
Move nomination cease.
Thank you. All right, Lace, do you want to, and Arliss, do you guys want to just double check that we have all of our, I haven't skipped any or missed any?
You got it. We should be good. Yep.
Okay, thank you everyone for being willing to put your name forward. The next item on the agenda is the annual proclamations. And I'll hand it over to CEO Cross to.
Thank you. And that does start on page 43 of the agenda package that's before you.
Oh.
There is an existing proclamations related policy, where we bring standing proclamations to the annual organizational meeting. The list is here. During the year, if we receive any new proclamation requests, it comes to council as per the policy. They'll either approve or not, and then anything new would be brought for consideration on the annual standing proclamation policy list for council to consider, so that we're not bringing these individually throughout the year to every council meeting. So the two additions that came on this past year would be that of Nurses Week and the Alberta Development Officer Week. So it's before council for consideration to adopt this list as our standing proclamations.
And historically, these organizations provide us the media that we utilize, and then it gets placed on our social media or on our website so that it's acknowledged. It doesn't, with this list, it's not confined to it, but it doesn't we don't make proclamations at council. This is a accepted list.
The only ones that would come to council is ones outside of this list.
Right. So if you wanted something different, Councillor Takeda.
And there'd be no financial obligation to any of these as well.
That's correct. That's correct.
Any information on what Alberta Development Officer Week means?
Oh, go ahead.
It's to celebrate Tom.
Let's do it.
Sorry, I just need to add a little color. Go ahead, Arliss. I'm sorry.
No, it just references the role of development approvals within municipalities. Same thing that Reeve mentioned.
I would just suggest that that is a needed declaration, because that's a thankless job many times.
Absolutely. So the motion that we would be looking for is on 43, page 43. If someone is inclined, Councillor Takeda.
I give you the motion that the Municipal District of Taber adopt the standing proclamations as per attachment A.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? Motion's carried. Okay, council remuneration policy, CO Crofts.
So this just is a memo for information, no action necessarily required. At a previous council meeting, council had adopted this in August. And it sets out kind of the basic parameters of council remuneration. So the policy there is hyperlinked if you want to review it in more in depth, but the summary is provided under the rationale section of the memo. It provides you with just basic remuneration details and what to expect being a councillor. As far as the process in claiming these, we'll provide those details in a more detailed kind of onboarding orientation session outside of this meeting. The council per diem rate, as you see, is referenced as $326.03 per day. Based on budget approval, that will be adjusted based on any cost of living adjustment that council approves as part of the budget process. So again, just provided to council as information.
Thank you for that information. So at this time, you can ask any questions. The motion that they're looking for would just to accept the information on the council remuneration overview as it's already been established as policy. And we will have, as CEO Croft said, a detailed time to overview how this process will work.
What kind of a motion are you?
Just a
looking for?
motion to accept or receive the council remuneration overview information.
Okay, I move that we receive the council remuneration overview.
Thank you. Any questions? Those in favor? That motion is carried.
Just one comment before council considers adjournment would be that of, with respect to all the appointments to the boards and committees over the next day, approximately 2 days, we'll be sending out correspondence of these appointments to all of these committees. It'll include the contact information of you folks to the committees that you're appointed to, so that they can reach out to you directly via email. And then they will be, those external boards and agencies will be communicating with you directly as counselors. So we will be providing them with that information. And the email information they'll be receiving is your MD of Tabor email account, which we will be accessing and setting up today for each of you. So just more of a heads up.
Okay. So with that, then we would have 2 motions left. One to move to destroy the ballots, and then the second one would be to adjourn. Anything else?
No, not from administration.
Okay.
I give you a motion to destroy the ballots.
Questions? Those in favor? And
Motion to adjourn.
thank you. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations.